What does love look like? Does it matter who loves her? Does it matter who loves him? All over the world, love means different things to different people. But what does it mean to politicians in Queensland when it comes to same-sex marriage? Well, I was pretty happy to spend a day at the Gold Coast to find out. And that's where I interviewed controversial former member of the Young Liberals, Nick Sowden, who also happens to be gay.
It's disappointing because, at the moment there are same-sex couples who are living together, who have lived together for quite a long time, and you don't get that same sort of equal treatment as heterosexual couples. At the end of the day, marriage just comes down to a legal contract between two willing participants, and it's unfortunate that those same-sex relationships can't be acknowledged in the same way that heterosexual relationships are.
And what did Nick have to say about the inaction of the major parties on this issue?
Tony Abbott at the moment, his sort of more right-wing faction, obviously they're not going to be pushing for it. And you've got the right faction of the Labor Party who are sort of more strongly Catholic, and they're not going to be pushing for it either. So when both sort of parties are run by these more socially conservative factions, we're never going to see any action. And we've seen same-sex marriage laws being introduced in the Senate before by both the Democrats and the Greens, and neither party has sort of given even a conscience vote on those, which is disappointing.
Nick's responses only filled me with more questions, so it was goodbye Gold Coast and hello West End to talk to Jess Payne from Equal Love.
Over 12 countries have granted same-sex marriage rights, places like Argentina and South Africa, states in America, and Portugal, like deeply Catholic countries, and society has not collapsed. The sky has not fallen in. Heterosexual couples, now don't partake in the institution of marriage. So to say that, gay couples having the right to choose what they want to do in their own private lives will have any impact on society, or that it would be negative at all. And I guess the demand for same-sex marriage also includes the demand for same-sex divorce. Like, if couples want to get married and divorced, then that's their choice.
I couldn't help but wonder if it's right to want to emulate countries like South Africa and America with such deep-rooted social problems. Anyway, I asked Jess what she thought about our Climate Change Minister Penny Wong, an openly gay woman, siding with the Labor Party on the issue of same-sex marriage.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people were justifiably angry when Penny Wong came out saying that she supports the Labor Party platform of being against same-sex marriage. And yeah, the way she did it was very hypocritical as well, that she said as a gay woman she's faced discrimination in the parliament, which is of course is legitimate, but then at the same time to justify that discrimination that she's faced by supporting a ban that promotes homophobia, I think was very hypocritical and a bit gutless.
As I left West End, I couldn't help but wonder where all the anti-same-sex marriage people were. The ones I had found had refused to speak on camera, but one young man who did comment likened same-sex couples to a lot of other negatives in his neighbourhood, like binge drinking. Just because it's happening doesn't mean I should accept it, he said. I crossed town to Paddington to speak to Larissa Waters, lead Senate candidate for the Greens, on the issue.
Look, marriage is about love. It shouldn't be about a man and a woman. It's such an outdated notion that it has to be a gender issue. It's about love, and it's about the family that you want to create, being there, supporting each other. It shouldn't be just limited to a man and a woman. I think it's ridiculous that we're stopping people who love each other from getting married and from wanting to have that public recognition of their love and their union.
One thing is for sure around Queensland, people certainly are talking about the same-sex marriage issue. And yet, there are very few open political discussions or even a single policy to emerge this election. Whatever you think love looks like, this is something politicians need to be talking about.